Righty, here we go. Welcome to May. It's Colette Baron-Reid. We are talking about the energy forecast for the month of May. This is a reading that is both prescriptive as well as predictive. So we're going to just take a look at how do we track the energy. I am doing a reading with this card deck, but I'm not doing a card reading. So some of you asked like, well, I didn't see the same thing with that card that I saw before. What you said was different. The fact is that when I read cards for these types of forecasts, I'm reading the pictures and images that come to me through my guides, through what comes up from the cards. So it's not a card reading per se, but they help me open doors to the themes that we're going to talk about. Okay. This is going to be a great month. At the same time, there's still going to be a lot of turmoil. Why am I saying it's going to be a great month? Because things slow down. So we are going to be getting a little bit more grounded this month. Lots more of an intentionality or the possibility for intentionality and a big letting go at the beginning of the month. So I kind of look at it as, it's not the typical I have to let go what doesn't serve me thing, because we do that every full moon, for example. But this really is about your identity. This isn't who I want to be anymore. This is really about, oh, well, who have I been? Who do I want to become? And how do I want my tangible world to be? This is also a great month. We're going to look at finances. Hopefully, we're going to see some stability in the markets. I really don't know, but I do know that this big focus is going to be on money this particular month, and we're going to see what happens. What I do know is we are ready for change. Now, the first card in the center of this entire thing is co-create. So it reminds us we're not doing this alone. It reminds us that we are in partnership with a power greater than ourselves. The universe works with us. We are part of this unified consciousness. Although all we see is separation and dissonance right now, we really are connected to all things and everyone and everything. And it is reminding us that we play a part, but that it also plays a part, or God, goddess, whatever the way you language it, it doesn't really matter. It is an energy that is of a greater intelligence than you or I, right? So when we partner with that, we make better decisions. The Fates is also a card that's coming up for this month of May, which is that we don't have a lot of personal power over a lot of different things. So surrendering and releasing our need to have such a strong, tight hold on outcomes right now is essential. Essential for everybody, because that's going to come up this month. Now, I love this card when Between Worlds. These are the cards, right? Between Worlds upside down is like, are we there yet? No, we're not. If the bottom line is we're not there yet. This could go on for a long time. So knowing that, how will we experience ourselves during this time, staying in one day at a time, right? This is living in 24-hour compartments is a lot easier than trying to figure out the way the world is going to be in the next, what's my future going to be? No, how about how do I respond to life on life's terms right now, as well as recognizing that I am a powerful co-creator and can actually manifest miracles right now. Like we really can. So this is an extraordinary time for us to get creative. Lots of creativity this month for people, especially if you are artistic, etc. It's really good. But also to create new things, new ways of doing things, new ways of approaching things. And they become real. They become tangible this month. Now, as the next group of cards, next three cards, tell us where we're likely heading, where we're kind of just naturally, our point of vantage is pointing there. Chaos and conflict is the card. Why am I laughing? Because that's what's there. But what's cool is the no place like home and exchanging gifts are both in protection positions that flank it. So it's saying that we're already in the chaos and the conflict. So it's time for us to reevaluate where we feel most comfortable. Recognize that we have to get out of our comfort zone. It's kind of that paradox, and realizing that we have to approach the way we serve the world from a different angle now. It's a great time to do an inventory of your business, of how you spend money, of how you spend time with people, tangible evidence that you can hold somebody's hand as opposed to just look at them on a Zoom screen, right? So there is really this sense that, there is this lots of change. So change is not bad. It just doesn't feel good when we're afraid that what the change that we see is permanent. So that's the other thing. There is no permanence right now. The best thing you could say to the back of your mind, this too shall pass. This is going to pass. This is going to pass. So what are my choices now that I have this environment at this time? What is my response? And self-care is humongous right now. There's a need for rest. There's not a need for more retaliation here. That's not going to help. So back off. There's a sense of really backing off a little bit and asking yourself, how important is this? And what is this serving? That's awesome. That's the best kind of question you could be asking in the month of May, right? And it is like spring. It's a sense of like new beginnings. And even, in the Southern hemisphere, it's a new change of season as well, too. So this like big seasonal change. Now, what is the nature of our obstacles, or what do the cards tell us about how to move past our obstacles? And well, the good thing is that we can. Clean it up is in the center. So that is one of my favorite cards when it comes to obstacles. Why? Because we have the capacity to clean it up. It doesn't say that we are freaked out by the obstacle. It says, no, we've got the broom. We've got the broom, we've got the arm, we've got the hand, we can do it. It's awesome. And you have a leg up there too, which means help is there for you. You don't have to do anything alone. This is a community experience with others, and also knowing that you will get help. And maybe it's help because your intuitive hygiene is really good and you've got really good intuitive intelligence and you've got really good downloads, because help can also be metaphysical. It can be spiritual. It can be many things, right? But help is there. You're not going to feel super isolated. Which I love for this month too, because anyway, loyal heart is in protection. So it's also cleaning up the people who, looking at the concept of betrayal. How have you betrayed yourself? How have you betrayed? I read this great art. I follow somebody named Elise Lonan, and I really like her blogs. And she talked about learning from betrayal. Like, what does betrayal mean? And, talking about, can we misinterpret sometimes? That's what I thought about afterwards. I thought, like, what is self-betrayal? Like, do we betray ourselves when we don't tell the truth to somebody because we're afraid they're going to hurt us, right? Or is betrayal, do we sometimes get mad at ourselves because we respond in a way because we've been triggered, and we act in a way that we wish we would have done it differently. So that's not always a betrayal. Like, we have to be loyal to our humanity, right? What's a betrayal is when we don't see ourselves or someone else as human, right? We have to remember that the dehumanization of people is what happens when we polarize too much. So, in the same way, we can be overly strict with ourselves. And, I think everybody gets a hall pass right now. I think nobody really knows how to handle a lot of what's happening here. So just know it's possible for you to clean it up, and don't make such a big deal about things. Make amends where you have to, where you know is yours. Sometimes people try to make amends in something that somebody else hurt you. So you say, sorry. No, I'm really sorry. Or I'll show you how sorry. I'm going to set myself on fire. Will that make you feel better? It's like, that not everybody responds to this, but that kind of real sense of don't hurt me. And a lot of people are feeling like they can't say what's on their minds, really, because of the retaliation. So there's that needs to be cleaned up too, to be able to have these kind of conversations at the dinner table again. Let's see. Now, awesome. Also, what's hidden influences? Truth, right? Truth be told, right? And that's beautiful, because that's the center there, the truth be told. Besides that is Treasure Island. What does that mean? It means in the hidden, behind the scenes, everything is coming together to be reminded that we have everything that it takes to have this extraordinary, prosperous, abundant life that may not follow the same rules as they did, but they're miraculous nonetheless. And we just have to let go our tight hold on how they have to look. Mending is in the protection position, which means that not all things can be fixed, right? So it's like, when damage is done, sometimes you just have to burn the whole thing down and then start again, or just walk away from something that's, and just know your part is clean. So this is, I think, really about a cleaning house piece, especially at the beginning of May. Like, where do you need to clean house? Where, kind of like, I remember also, like, sometimes you could be friends with somebody and your friends are saying, why are you friends with that person? And like, oh, I don't know, because I've known them for 40 years. And it's like, you're not the same people anymore. So those kind of things too. It's like to be loyal to who you've become is really important. Okay. Except as your pride gets hurt too. It's, people unfriend each other now on Facebook. Like it's boom. It used to be like people could hang up the phone, right? Now it's like, I am no longer your friend. I don't know. Okay. What is spirit doing for us? Well, it's doing different things. That's what it's doing. So buy the book. So these are the cards that tell us what spirit is showing us and also doing for us, so we can't do for ourselves. So peace is a very interesting thing. It's showing us now peace and protection. Actually, I'm going to read that card 23. I'm going to read it. And excuse me if you hear the gardeners, because they are very noisy, even though I'm trying to be quiet in here. Okay, so this is what Spirit has to say to all of us. Now is a time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. Even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, all that means is that you must go within and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. Find harmony within yourself and don't look to the outer world to provide certainty. This too shall pass. Once again, your life will be filled with beautiful music. It doesn't give us a date. It doesn't say by May the 27th, we're going to have beautiful music. It doesn't say that. That's where we get into big trouble. So what this is saying is, in the now, how can I respond in what is in alignment to myself and my values? That means you got to slow down. And May gives us the opportunity to slow down, to evaluate ourselves for the better. Now, I love Buy the Book in Protection, because it's like Spirit's even saying, we're not playing by the rules. No more rules. Like new rules are happening, some of which we may not like right away, but they don't last either. So this is about the new rule for yourself, not about what you're seeing external by governments and all that kind of stuff. That's got nothing to do with it. What is your new spiritual rule for yourself? What's the new mystical rule? What's your intuitive? What is the certainty that you have that you are indeed a co-creator with a higher power greater than you? And when you release your tight hold on outcomes and forms and how they're supposed to look, miracles can show up because you have a change of perception. Now, to be fair is in the protection position. This does not ignore the fact that many people are in tremendous turmoil right now and are genuinely hurt by things that are happening and changing for them. This is really important that we recognize that that we live in a very complicated, nuanced world where everything exists at the same time. And we're starting to see what we didn't see before. So if you can remember too, that when you get into alignment with what your highest expression of yourself is, you become the beacon of light for others, especially others who are suffering. You can contribute more to more of an energetic whole that is more coherent and more, again, aligned, resonant, and helpful to others. So May looks good. I am launching this May. I'm launching my intuitive certification program. Yes, a certified intuitive coach. This is a time I'm coming up to my 67th birthday. Can you believe that? And I decided now is the time in my career that I help others and give away everything that I know and help them be successful. So that's what I'm doing now. I've had an amazing life as an intuitive, as a strategist, as doing all kinds of things that have given me great opportunities to be creative, etc. And so I finally put together a program that for coaches and practitioners and people who want to add intuitive skills and techniques into their practice to help others. And so if it interests you, check it out. Anyway, I will see you no matter what. I'm going to see you in June for the next Universal Energy Forecast. Well, love you guys. Take care.